Hi families, it's Mrs. Maurer. I am the learning support teacher. Your child might have me for math, ELA, both of those subjects, or I might be supporting them in their classrooms. So I just wanted to tell you that one of the things that has been a little bit tricky is getting on to Zoom for those morning meetings. And that's for every student when they are doing their at-home learning. They will get to log in at 9 o'clock for that Zoom meeting. That password is going to change every week. So that is a district policy because I guess some of the older students in middle and high school like to kind of go into those Zoom waiting rooms and there's no teacher there. So we don't really have that problem in elementary, but we still follow that security and have that password for them to log in. The homeroom teacher will always post that for them so that they know and you know how to get into that Zoom for the week. One of the things that has also been a little tricky is knowing where the assignments are. So when you when your child goes into their Google Classroom, it comes to the stream page. And I sure do wish it would open up right to the classwork tab. So if you would click on the bottom where it says classwork, that's where all of your students' at-home learning activities will be. We're going to actually start to begin to take attendance from that, and those assignments are going to be graded. That's where they will be. So if your child has me for ELA, they would have their assignments Mrs. Maurer ELA. It's also listed on the side. If they have Mrs. McCain, you would go to the reading tab. That's from Mrs. McCain. Then you would go math, my math group, Mrs. Maurer math, or you might have Mrs. Thomas and be included, and she has a tab there for math. Science and social studies. Everyone's in science and social studies, and I work closely with Mrs. Shortall to adapt the assignments. So this week they had some reading to do that was from the textbook, and it was about soil. Well, some of those words and vocabulary words and concepts were a little bit tricky, and I didn't want the students to not do the assignment just because the assignment might be a little bit tricky to read. So there is a video there that they can that I'm reading and they can follow along on their sheet. We'll continue to do that for them. I'll also be adapting math and ELA as we need to so that the students can stay included in their classrooms. Something else that I wanted to talk about was what students will be doing with me if they have pull out reading instruction. We're going to be doing Read 180 this year. It is an incredible program. We have the latest version. It's called Read 180 Universal. There's two components to it. One is going to be working in their small group and reading in their book. It's called the Real Book. And this is where they'll be doing their reading assignments. There's writing, vocabulary. It's some nonfiction, a lot of great concepts. And the other component of Read 180 is going to be their online. There's an app that's on their iPads, and this week I'm going to be able to show them where that is because they all took a placement test for Read 180. So everything is going to be leveled for them. There's practice in spelling, practice in phonemic awareness. So it's a fantastic program, and we've seen incredible growth for the students over the last few years. So we're very grateful that we have the newest updated version and that they'll be able to use that. That will be one of their assignments that they have for their at-home learning coming up after I teach them this week. So that won't be an assignment this week, but the following week. We also do have continue to have 20 minutes of reading every night for the students, reading on their own. It can be any kind of print. It could be magazines. It could be things that they read online. It could be a chapter book. So many, many different ways to be reading, but that 20 minutes of reading every night. Let's see here. way to get in touch with me would be to go on to Seesaw. I think almost all of our families so far are on Seesaw. Those who aren't, I'm going to reach out to this week. And of course, you may email. I'm A. Maurer. There's also a J. Maurer in the district. So I'm A. Maurer, Alicia Maurer. And of course, you can always call. If it's a tech question, I can try and walk us through that. And I can log in as your student, as your child, and see what they would have on their screen so we can problem solve that through. They all have the list of their passwords and their QR codes, but sometimes it's just a little bit hard to know which password and where everything is. And sometimes a quick phone call solves that right away. So try not to get frustrated and have your child get frustrated. I don't want that to be what takes away from your time that is at home. Just reach out and we can solve that problem really quickly. I think that was about everything that I had. If there's anything that you're not sure of, reach out. We will be having IEP meetings for your child. We look at an anniversary date, but we can have one at any time that you would wish to, and we would schedule those. So that would be 1 year from the date of their IEP that they had last year, either with their teacher from last year if you were not at Wescosville, or with Mrs. Burdick, who you had last year. All right, so I thank you for your support. I will apologize in advance if I post a wrong date or try really hard between that yellow and that blue team and who's here, but I know it will probably come up that I do make that mistake, so I apologize in advance if that happens, and I thank you for your patience as we work through all of this, and hopefully we can have a great year. The groups are really small that your child is working in school, so that is going to be, I think we're going to see a lot of great progress for your child. So I'm really looking forward to that part of it, even though I sure do miss seeing their smiles and having our big group, one big group together. So hopefully this will maybe come to an end by the end of the year. If not, thank you for working through it with us. Thanks.